like, so we'll have a conversation about like, what are your expectations with that? And I don't know, like, I don't have a filter. So like, I'll tell you exactly like what, like my realistic expectations are. And then like what, I don't know, like, I don't want to say settle for, but like what I figure is going to happen sort of a thing. Right. Like, uh, so, we'll just go through that and then definitely talk about, we were talking right before the podcast about, you're talking about dating sites and then older guys. And I think that's a thing. I think you have to, I don't know, I can't even, from a guy's point of view, like, I couldn't imagine dating someone that was like 58. Like, whoa, what are you, out of your mind? Like, no, like, that's not gonna happen. I
Like,
mean,
you dating someone who's 58?
yeah, unless she was like really rich and I was just waiting for her to
Okay, but no, it depends on the type of, is she old 58 or is she like 48, 58? You know what I mean? Is she younger?
I don't know if there is 48, 58. Honestly, like, ladies, I feel sorry for ladies because you're dealing with a whole nother like pool of people. You're dealing with people that are insanely shallow as far as that goes. Like the problem I see with dudes is they mostly don't get it. So it's mostly like, if you don't look like what's in the magazines or whatever they're looking at, then they're not happy with that or whatever. And then guys, I've heard all kind. I'll give you an inside scoop. Guys will kill me, but I'll give you like, some guys want to see a woman's mother because they figure that she's going to look like her mom at some point, and they're like, could I deal with that?
Yeah, that's weird. I know somebody said that to me a few times before too.
Right. You got any pictures of your mom? Like, what the hell's wrong with you? And then I don't know if women do the same thing, like, which would be, my dad's a ginger. Like, that would not be, we don't look alike.
As a woman, we're supposed to watch, this is what I was told, we're supposed to watch how the guy treats his mother.
His mother. Yeah.
I was told just the other day that, and I didn't like, I joked about it, but that women are attracted to me because of how I raise my kids.
That's a good quality. I mean, you've got
I don't know. I would never, I think it's for a guy, it's the opposite. Like, I would be like totally critical of, in fact, I dated someone and I saw how she was raising her son. And I was like, I don't know how I'm going to like bite my tongue for this long. Like, this is not.
Well, that would go both ways. I think the same thing with him treating them differently, or I mean, I can go off on a couple different things about how I've witnessed guys treating their kids, and not in a bad way. I just think it has a big reflection on who they are. Going back to what Maribeth said, to her point about how you treat your mom. Yeah. So, Bill, I think what women are telling you is that they feel that you probably have a lot of great qualities in you because of how you are raising your adult boys. I mean, they're adult boys. You're probably very patient, very kind, nurturing, motivational. You probably push them super hard, which comes back to the work ethic you were talking to me about earlier.
Right, I do, but it's very, I don't know. I think most people's way of raising their kids are very similar to their parents. And I pretty much looked at my parents and said, I am not going to do it. That's not right. That's not right. I'm going to do it totally different. Like, my dad was a hitter. Like, I mean, he was straight up Homer Simpson, like, come home and choke me. You know what I mean? Like, and like, my mom was constantly like, wait till your father gets home. And like, it was so brutal that my dad would be like, just get in the car and we're going to go to the park and I'll take care of it there. Because my mom would be like, all upset that she, told him what I did during the day or something like that. And then like want to like not have him beat the shit out of me. I have never hit my kids. Like, I don't even, like, I get way more miles out of, I'm extremely disappointed. And then they're like, they're ready to cry because I'm disappointed. But, and I don't use it like all the time. I have to be like disappointed. Like, I have to be like, hey, this is why. And then it's always a conversation about this isn't for me, bud. This is for you. Like, you need to do it like this because you're going to be a better person and you're going to get further and you're going to, you know what I mean? Like, there's all kinds of stuff that I do, and it's strange. Having kids, and all three of us have kids, you become a completely different person. So, like, I don't know what you guys' thoughts are on dating someone that doesn't have kids.
I did it once. It was very difficult because like they were younger then. My kids are now 26 and 20, but they were younger then, and my son was sick, and I had to cancel out of the date because he wanted to come be with me because he was sick. The guy was like, "How often is this going to happen?" I'm like, "Never."
Yes. Bye.
Kids should first because they're only with you for a small amount of time. And then I couldn't date anybody who didn't have kids. I found that out.
I think that they have a different. I would think that they have a different mentality on life in general. Just if all you're doing is for you, like when I have kids now, like I literally have never had a day in my life since those kids were born that I didn't think about what's going on with them today.
Right.
You know, it's a different mentality. And like, I mean, I'm lucky. I mean, I shouldn't say that. Like, I put the work in, but me and my boys have had conversations till 3, 4 in the morning, like, you know, about important things or nonsense about, you know, fucking space travel and Teslas and, you know, whatever else we could think of. But we have definitely had a conversation. Like, they know my mind with things, and they have to be reminded every once in a while, but they know that every choice that I make is in their best interest. It has nothing to do with me. You know what I mean? Like, my sons are very good wrestlers. No one's ever given me a medal. Like, that doesn't happen. I don't want one, but I mean, it's all on them. You know what I mean? It's for them. It's for them to do what they do. So yeah, I mean, it becomes a selfless thing that I don't know if somebody who's never had kids can do that. And I don't know if they're going to meet somebody that they're going to fall in love with and do that all of a sudden. That makes sense.
Right. And I think the priorities of having a kid, you know, like to bring someone in who doesn't understand the priorities, they don't understand, you know, like going to the games is a priority as opposed to sitting on the couch watching TV on a rainy day, you know? Mm-hmm. They don't understand the schedule, you know?
Right. I don't know. I mean, I dated someone for years and years that didn't have kids. And there were definitely times where I was like, this is a strange thing, because she gets real jealous of the kids, sort of thing. Yeah. So, I mean, that's a tough one. And for me, it was a big barrier because I spend countless hours with my sons. I mean, you know, they know how to fish, hunt, shoot, camp, build everything, wrestle, everything, because I was there for all of it. You know what I mean? Like, from a wheelchair, I taught my sons how to ride a 2-wheel bike. And it just took thinking a little bit more about how to do this, right? So I'm not going to be that dad running behind the kid holding on to the seats. It was more like we're in the driveway, and I'm like, all right, you're going to put your foot on the pedal and pedal once, and then put your feet back down. Then see if you can pedal twice. And then let's see how many you can get. And then they would, you know, they fell a couple times, then probably they got like 5, 8, 9, 10. Then they're like, riding a bike. No problem. I have a picture that my mother took because she was a real pain in my dad's ass of my dad teaching me how to ride a bike. It is not pretty. Like, he does not look happy. And I mean, I'm this little, like, you know, blonde-haired kid that's like, you know, oh boy, I'm in trouble. And he's on the bike, like, hair's a mess, screaming at me. And I'm like, wow, this is not good. So, I mean, I did the opposite of my parents as far as that went. And I don't know, my sons are 18. Like, this time in my life, I think dating wise is where I need to focus on it. Like, I need to start thinking about doing that. Like, I know that I'll always be a phone call away from my sons, but at 20 years old, I didn't want anything to do with my parents. Nothing. Like, oh my God. Like I felt bad because I didn't call him, and I was a guy that had an apartment at 18 years old. So like I was out, and I had an apartment at 18 because me and my dad got in a little scuffle and kicked me out. So I didn't even need to talk to him for like 2 years. That worked out fine. But my mom, I still was like once a week, give her a call and stuff. And at 20 years old, good God, like I was a nightmare. I was a mess. And, I still had to keep in touch with my mom. So, I know you guys, what's just for the podcast, Carrie, I know what's your, how many kids do you have? 2?
I have three, and they're all, so they're 22 today. It's my son's birthday today.
I saw that. Yeah.
And 24. So they're all older. They all actually live on their own.
Right. So now are you like at home now by yourself pretty much then? Like, or do they just stop by and visit and stuff like that?
No, well, yeah, it's actually, I'm at home for the first time just by myself this week. So last week, my middle guy moved out, the one whose birthday is today, moved in with my oldest son. So the 2 brothers are living together, which I think is awesome. And my daughter lives her own. But they're young to be on their own. But I'm telling you, they're so independent, and that's how I raised them too, just to be tough. And Bill, I mean, I didn't really realize that because you and I were in high school together, but who knew that at 18 you had lived on your own? And I look at that as, I mean, you busted ass at 18. You're out on your own. Who knows what kind of kid you were? You know what I mean? But your work ethic has really just paid off. You had to make it. You had to go out there. You had to work for yourself and build your own company. I don't know when you got married, but I would assume that, I mean, either at 18, you could either throw in the towel and be a complete fuck up and a hot mess and never make it through. Or
I kind of was. I really was. I was like, seriously, like I was a madman at work as far as that went. Like I made sure that I've always been super competitive. So no one was going to carry more lumber than me. Nobody was going to work harder than me, all that stuff. But then when we got off work, I was out to, either find a woman or find a fight or whatever I could do to like, adrenaline. I needed something that was fun. And I mean, I remember, what's that?
That's how you were in high school, I think.
Right. So I remember like seriously going out to a party. At one time when I was working construction, I was working 82 hours a week. We were working 6 12s, and then on Sunday we got off early at 5. So we got off after a 10-hour day on Sunday. And we did that for almost 3 months until one of the guys that was in his 40s had a heart attack at the job.
Oh, God.
Grabbed his chest and went down. But I was still, even then on the weekends, I was still going out. So like I'd go out, be at the party for like 2 hours, and then I'd be in my truck sleeping, and then go home. But I wasn't not going to go out back then. So I was a hot mess. Like I was such a mess that I had a couple weekends where I was in the orange jumpsuit at the Will County lockup. Like I got in trouble. I mean, one time I was like looking out the little window in the door, and Dave Cobb was we both got locked up together, and he was in the other one down there, and he was like signing language to me that he was going to call his mom. And I'm like, I'll be here till Monday. I lived on my own already. Where was I going to go? Like I never even called. So I was trouble. And I pretty much got married because I was in the orange jumpsuit, and I was like, you know what? This is not working. I got to rethink this situation. I was already starting to open my company and everything else. And I couldn't not get into fights. And I swear I didn't look for them. We sat down with a bunch of guys one time. We were talking about fighting. And I'm like, I don't know of one that I picked. My problem is that dudes all think that they can fight, and they can't. But they all like lifted weights and looked in the mirror, and they thought they were tough. And then I take them to the parking lot and find out you're not. Like, but I was like trained to fight, right? So wrestling and then boxing. So we would get in the parking lot, and the guys, it's like if you took somebody ballroom dancing and they never did it before, and then you had been trained to dance. You're going to make them look really bad. And I would just make them look really bad in the parking lot, and then sometimes get arrested. So not a good time. But anyway, so I met a wallflower and I got married and had kids. And I was probably, I think I was 20, geez, what was I? 26 when I got married. So, I mean, I tried to wait. I told my sons that they have no business getting married until they're 30.
Yeah.
I agree.
Go to Europe, buy a Corvette, buy a house, do all that. Yeah, do all that stuff. Now, I don't know how a woman feels about that. And this is maybe like a little sexist, but like I told them, I go, listen, you can have kids in your 60s. So go live. Right, women can't, but the boys can. So like, I'm not saying for them to do that either. You don't want to be at the, at the wrestling meet and you look like your great grandpa. But you could definitely be a 30-year-old man with your career and everything, and then marry a 26 or 27-year-old woman and then still do just fine as far as that goes. With plenty of time to have kids or whatever like that. If you, that's the other one. I decided that I was going to have kids. Like, it was not I'll just get married and then I'll just have, like, my parents, I think they just did it because I think that's what they thought they were supposed to do. And I did it because I wanted to have kids. Like, I wanted to teach them stuff. And I've taught my sons a whole mess of wrestling stuff and other stuff. And there is nothing more gratifying than watching them do something that I know they got from me. And it's also like, I'm not a religious guy. So it's my way of being immortal, right? So like, if my sons teach their sons how to build a home, they know they got that from me. And then they essentially, my grandkids got it from me too. And then so on and so on, sort of a thing. I'm the first contractor in my family. My dad was a butcher. So, I mean, like, he was mad I didn't follow in that footsteps. Holy shit, did that suck? Like, I fucking stand in the goddamn refrigerator all day with blood all over.
Yeah, butchering up meat, that's awful. That'd be an awful thing.
You know what? We ate well. There was always, my dad was a good cook, and we always had steaks and chops and all that around the house, but
nice.
No, thank you. I mean, arthritis and sitting in a refrigerator all the time. I can't wait for summertime. I'll get out in the sun and, get tan. But anyway, so yeah.
But I agree with you. Like, Bill, the things that I've taught my kids too, I see that as well. Like my daughter, I'm handy around the house. There's a lot of things that I know how to do. So it's really cool. My daughter will say, "Oh, Mom, look what I did." And, she's taken something apart, put it back together. She installed all the safety latches on the doors. And my kids, I taught them how to cook from a very young age, and all three of them really know how to cook very well. My middle son, exceptionally well, and I think oh, he got that from me.
Right.
Or just
exactly.
just different things. It's really neat to see your kids grow, and I always do. I'm like, I think that's the most amazing thing, and then we try to guide them as much as we can. At least I think I have. I tried to guide them and make the best decisions that I can not for them, but in raising them. But they're going to be the human that they were destined to be, no matter what.
Right.
I feel. And they were given to me for a reason. And I hope what I was able to instill in them and who they were supposed to be anyway. And then now they are walking around like adults, like Bill, you said yours are 18 and yours are older too. I just think it's amazing.
Yeah.
I love being a mom.
It's harder to raise adult children because my daughter's 26. She lives on her own. And my son is now going to be a junior at NIU. So he's back and forth to his dad's in my house. So I'm pretty much by myself most of the time. But it's hard.
How are you working that with the virus thing? Because I know that you're trying your best to the social distance and stuff like that. So how are you working it? Because for the first time in 3 months, on Mother's Day, my boys went back to their mom's house. They hadn't seen their mom in 3 months.
I let him go, and and he knows. I mean, my ex-husband's wife has an autoimmune disease, so they're extra careful. Evidently, I don't know. They're having a party over there right now for their daughter graduated from nursing school. So I don't know, but all I can tell you is I'm not gonna not see him, you know. And so as soon as he comes in the house, it's wash your hands, go take a shower, change your clothes. That's what he does. And
Right.
I'm just, you know, my daughter works with, she's a behavioral therapist, so she works with children, and now they're back at working with the kids. So she was leery to come over yesterday, but he wears a mask. I mean, I told her, you just got to be cautious. You can't be paranoid. Just
Right.
be, you know, wear the mask, wash your hands, do your best. But I figured she could get it anywhere.
Yeah. No, I mean, me and Carrie talked earlier, like we're, you know, not going to get carried away with this shit. Like, you know, like I'm going to do my best within reason. And then,
Right.
you know, like, I mean, I'm not a, like whatever happened will happen guy, because that's just dumb. Like you could, you know, that just drive off a cliff. But like I'm not gonna like wrap myself in bubble wrap in a fucking hazmat suit for the next year and a half, like more of a vaccine. So
You
and
got
I mean,
to be cautious. You have to be very
Right.
cautious and diligent on yourself, and hopefully others are too. And but you can't be paranoid.
right.
Because if you're paranoid,
We have a tough situation on our with us, because we're pretty much every week at another home, and it is so weird to sell somebody a $12,000 job, and like they want to shake my hand, they want to, you know, get right there and talk to me, and I'm like, you know, we got to kind of keep our distance. And really not because of this house. But what if I go to the next house and there's like a 80-year-old lady there or something like that? Like, it's like I gotta think about all of it all the time, and it's not easy. I mean, I'm a like touchy-feely guy. Like I like to, like, you know, shake my friends' hands and, you know, put a hand on someone's, you know, shoulder or neck or whatever like that, or, you know, take a picture next to somebody and stuff like that. Like that's just who I've always been. I wouldn't, I mean, you know, I don't know, the guy hug is kind of a new thing, right? Like that's like a last 10 years thing where guys are hugging all the time.
Hug.
I've not hugged my children. Like they were here yesterday, and I have not hugged my children because I don't, with my daughter being out of the, you know, on her own, and my son back and forth. So we just knuckle or, you know, do the Corona hug, and that's it.
Wow.
It's hard because of the situation. And, you know, I work part-time at the wine outlet, so I'm also putting myself in jeopardy, you know, with others. So I don't want to, that's one thing I told them ahead of time. I'm like, I'm a really huggy person, especially with my kids, but I have not hugged them.
Wow. So we went for college visits in Iowa, and took my boys there, and it was right when it was breaking. So we were not shaking the hands of the coaches, which is strange too. I mean, we're in a sport that's wrestling. Like, you know, it is all like, it's a full body hug, right? It's not just a little bit of touching. And these guys that are coaches, they're used to strong grip and all that. Like they're actually feeling a guy out. And we didn't shake anyone's hand the entire time. When we came home from there, we went probably 2 full weeks. My sons and I, even though they're 18, every time that I would see them, or, you know, they would be here and go to bed, it is a hug and a kiss. That's how I set it up from when they were little. And my plan was for that to never change. Like, I don't care if you're 40, you give me a hug and a kiss. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not, you know, like that's, I don't know if it's, you know, the European thing or whatever, but like, that's what I want. Like, I liked seeing my grandparents, and it was a hug and a kiss and all that other stuff all the time. You know what I mean? I don't want to be distant, but we didn't do it for 2 weeks because we were just like,
it's hard. It's hard, but it's, you know, I'd rather, you know, do that than that's.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, you know, I guess that's where we're at, but you know, I'm ready for this to be over with. We were talking about the kid thing and everything else. It makes for a weird, my mentality was very much like, you know, dating and stuff like that. It's an activity to do, but I did it my priorities, and my priorities were my children. So I have a daughter who's 20, and my sons are 18, and like my daughter was a gymnast, and they're all really good students. Like it was super important to me to be there with them and do everything with them. I don't know if like that, I think that needs to change. I wonder if I've gone so long with it like that. Like I truly never wanted to be alone when I was a kid. When I was like 18, 19, oh my God, where are my friends? What are we doing? Constantly, just constantly. Like, you know, I mean, me and Carrie was like, you know, you're going to meet up at Hardee's every single weekend to like find everyone and go to the parties and stuff. I was the party guy. I was at every party, you know, so, but now, you know, as a guy that's done all this with the kids and everything else, like I don't mind being alone even a little bit. Like I'm cool with it. Like there are times where being alone is like, it's fucking awesome. Like
I know. I love it too much.
I know.
I love it. I'm totally fine with it.
It's scary that I'm going to like stay doing that. Like that doesn't seem right. I mean, if it wasn't for me liking to look at women so much and be around them, like I don't know, like seriously, like I have found myself like totally happy. Like I'm like, if I want to make food right now, I'll make food right now. If I want to stay up to whenever I want to stay up, I'll stay up whenever I want to stay up. If I don't want to get up, for me, I always get up. Like I don't, if it's 6:30, I'm awake. Like if I go to bed at 4 a.m., 6:30, I'm awake.
Yeah.
Now 2 in the afternoon that day, I'll be like ready to
Exactly.
out. Yeah.
What are you doing up at 4 a.m.? That's what I want to know. Who stays up till 4?
You know what? I never did.
It's 4 a.m. I'm screwed the next day.
I know.
My sons right now, or the one at least, is normally lifting weights at about 2 a.m.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, my kids, I mean, they would be walking around the house at all hours, all the time, like making food at 11 o'clock. Kids were here.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
you know, I can understand that, like younger people staying up all night, their schedules are completely off, especially when they work.
Right.
You know,
Well, we went
yeah.
about 3 weeks where we were just doing stuff around here, and it was like my sons were slowly getting their schedule completely flipped upside down, where it was like I'll wake up at 2 in the afternoon and then I won't go to bed until 4 a.m. in the morning. Like
Right.
I'm in bed and I hear someone come in the door at 3:30, and I'm like, should I get it done? Because this is weird.
No.
But
I'm like, they're fine.
right, we're straightened out now. But coming to the, like, not to the end of being a parent, but to this spot where they're going to be more independent, it seems like my expectation and the ideal situation would be to find somebody that I truly, truly enjoy being around. And then, you know, go from there, sort of thing, because I think that the expectation or the end goal would be that you'd be with them all the time at some point, which is so alien to me too. I have lived by myself.
All the time. Why? Like all the time. No.
I don't know.
You're looking for someone to retire with. That's what I.
But how long have each of you like lived?
Like the rest of like our lives, or you mean all the time, like during the week?
Right.
I told you I'm gonna stick my foot in my mouth. People are gonna be like, okay, she can stay single.
I don't think so, Carrie. I think guys be like, that's what I want. That's gonna work out fine. Because I think that makes for a longer relationship if you could. I think that you need your own space. But like, so okay, say I start to date somebody and she, in her mind, has like the progression is that we're gonna live together, and then I even had one tell me that, you know, she was still open to getting married. And I'm like, the fuck would I get married for? The fuck would I get married for? Why would I go get a piece of paper that says you could sue me when we, like, no, why would I even, there's no reason to do that at all. Like, you're not going to take my last name at fucking 50 years old. What the hell are we doing? So, like, it doesn't make any sense. But she said that, and I was like, wow. And it made me stop and think, how the fuck could I live? And my life's crazy. Here I am talking to two women on a podcast. If my girlfriend was there, this would not be cool. This would not be like, I would not be showing attention to her. I'd be hanging out with you guys, right? And then like I have a group of.
Because you
What's
can do
that?
your own thing, and she would have to be secure with that. You're not doing
Right.
anything.
You wouldn't be with somebody who wasn't secure enough for this. You're not that kind of person.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Well,
I have definitely dated some insecure women. There's no doubt about that.
Well, I have done the same, but I think everyone you date, you learn from.
Yeah.
That's for sure. It's a learning experience.
There's
And
a
what not to do.
And the
There's
flag,
a fine
you know,
There's a fine line between jealousy and then controlling, right? So, like, you want a guy that's going to give a shit what you're doing, but you don't want him to be like, stalking you either.
Right.
Yeah, no, stalking's not good.
Right.
No, more stalking. Been there once, twice. Not doing it.
A stalker?
Huh?
Maribeth, a stalker? A stalker?
I had a stalker when I was 19.
Like a bona fide, full
Yeah.
out. Oh, yeah. No, that's crazy. No.
Yeah, my dad handled it.
I don't get like any of that stuff. I had a buddy of mine who we were in our 20s and his girlfriend ran off with a dude and he was distraught. And I'm like, hey man, I get it. You're like sad. I got it. Like I've broken up with somebody before. I understand that you're, bummed about this. You weren't planning on breaking up. She ran off. Got it. And he's like, no, he goes, I'm thinking about killing myself. And I'm like, dude, you need to talk to somebody. I go, it's a girl. It's a person. Obviously, put it into perspective. She ran off. Are you better off that she ran off now? Or you married her and 5 years into it, she ran off then and you got a kid or whatever else. Like, I mean, you're lucky. Count yourself, lucky. But he was seriously like depressed. I could not get him to go out with people because he was sad. And I'm like, wow, that was not me. I was like, I went from one girlfriend to the next girlfriend to the next girlfriend. It was like every 5 months, I just moved to the next one. And in high school, it was just like I'd be dating someone for 5-6 months, and then no, not at all, no. I was thinking. Me and Carrie talked about that. Like I'm certainly in my mind now. I consider myself a serial monogamous. So like I was with one girl for the 5 months. I think the 5-month period always turned out to be like right when that first fight would happen. They'd be like, oh, I gotta go.
It's like 4 months in, 4 or 5 months in.
Yeah, it's that first like kind of disagreement. Yeah, and I'm like looking over the fence. I gotta get out of here. Like, this is not gonna work out. This is just not worth my time to like fight with you. And then like, yeah, I don't know, once you have a fight, like then it's all different and everything else. Like, I don't want to do any of that. So.
Oh, you guys, can I come right back?
Oh, yeah.
I'll take this call. Come right back.
There you go.
She's got a more important call, Bill.
I know. Wow. I feel kind of sad now. But anyway, so, I went from the one to the other one, but it was just, I mean, we went to a big school. Like, if you were dating somebody, there was always somebody to, like, passion note or something like that. And it was like, yeah, but if I'm dating somebody and then they want to get in a fight with me and there's this other girl, well, then I'll just, see you later. And then we'll just, this sort of thing. Now there's not and I had more than a couple of, out at a bar, met a girl, went home with her, that sort of thing, like one night things that I woke up in the morning and I was like, this was a mistake. Like this was not something I would have done, if I had my faculties.
Wait, is it before marriage or after marriage? Or after
no, before.
I was going to say, wow.
So,
I didn't think so.
Right. After marriage, I was already in the wheelchair. So I dated 3 people after the marriage. Carrie was there, or Carrie's not Carrie. Maribeth was there, and now she's gone. See if she comes back. But so I dated Sarah Schranz. Remember Sarah?
No, I don't remember anybody.
You don't remember Sarah Schranz?
I don't remember anybody.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Might. What's that?
I might, if I saw her picture, maybe.
Yeah.
I remember certain people, but not a lot.
Right. So we dated before I was married, and then I ran into her again, and we started dating again after I was injured. What's that?
That's wild. So you dated twice, many years apart.
I dated 4 women twice.
Oh.
Yeah.
I've never dated anybody twice.
What's that?
Never dated anyone twice.
Never.
Oh, I'm done. It's next one. That's done. Never.
So you have no regrets. Like there's no one that you dated and like today you'd be like, I should have like put more into that. I have a bunch.
Not in a bad way. Not in a bad way. It's just that I dated them and it's done. I mean, and not in a bad. It's not bad. I don't know. Like I've never dated anyone where I think, oh my gosh, I would love to get back together with them, because since I've broken up, I've developed into a different person too. You know, I think we grow every single day, and looking back on a few different small term relationships, it really just be smaller term. There's things that I just wouldn't tolerate now. And I don't know if it's worth a conversation. I would say not, because I think everybody comes into my life for a reason. And there's nothing I want to go back and dabble with again.
Right. No, I get that. I mean, most of my relationships, seeing they only lasted 5-6 months, like I always was really good at leaving them, like honestly too. Like I was never like dating someone else and then like, you know, oh, I got another girlfriend, you know, or anything like that. It was always like, hey, I would seriously have a talk with them and be like, I don't think I can do this anymore. Like, you know, like, what's that?
Which is good. You left it in a good place.
I did. I always tried to be like, you know, this is what I want to do. I want to go, you know, I'm just like, you know, and I would tell them like, I'm a bonehead. I'm not prepared. It seemed like with women, always right around 6 months, they wanted to like go next level. Like it was like, one of them said, when we get married, and I was like, you know, standing in my kitchen naked, cooking eggs. And I'm looking at her going, yeah, I'm not getting married to anybody. What? Like,
I'm Bill Geithner.
Yeah, right. Like I was like 20.
Yeah.
I was smart enough to know that I'm a mess. Like this is not going to work. Get married. And her older sister had gotten married at like 19. And I was like, oh no, this can't. Like I'm going to tell you right now that this won't work. We broke it off like 2 weeks later. She was married 6 months later from there.
Huh. Well, that was what she wanted, no matter what.
She wanted to get married. And she was a sweetheart. And she was one of the ones I dated twice. You know, that was the second time, obviously, because she got married after that. But, so yeah, I mean, I don't know. I knew that I wasn't ready to be married, you know, young. And I'll tell you what, I was a far better parent in my 40s than I think I would have been in my 30s. And in my 20s for sure. Oh, shit. Like, I've seen some bad parents, and they're all, like, in their 20s. They're all, like, you know, wearing fucking bedazzled pants and acting like idiots. And, like,
no, those are bad anyway. Oh, I shouldn't say that.
No. You got, hey.
I love being a parent. I was a parent in my 20s. I loved being a parent. Like, raising my kids was so much fun. You know, I liked it. I was very patient. It was sweet. But I do agree with you. You know, the parent I was in my 20s and 30s and 40s is completely different.
Right.
But it has to do with us growing and changing. Some people never do. And they're always, you know, that same not great person they were.
I looked at when my sons got out of 8th grade and they went to high school, like the wrestling thing, there's sort of a like let go at that point where you let them do their own thing. You're in high school. I'm not going to be on you every day about working out. I'm not going to be on you every day about what do you weigh and everything else. Like your coach can do that. It's your thing. You do that. And I remember thinking, I got to find a girl that's got like a 6-year-old. Then I can just go back to the youth wrestling and do this again. You know what I mean? Because then, like, You
Good
know,
Lord. That's what you're looking for?
no, that was never really what I was looking for. But I was thinking it'd be nice if I had a 6-year-old at that time, because there was mistakes that I felt I made, and I felt like I could correct that. Like I could do it better the next time. Yeah.
Oh, you mean next time around as a parent?
Mhm.
Oh my God, yes. I apologize all the time to my kids. I'm like, I only hope I'm doing the best. So that's it, you know? That's it. I
Right.
only hope that I'm doing okay. My son said something to me yesterday that was so sweet for Mother's Day. Just said that, you know, I've done a really good job at raising independent kids. And, you know,
Yeah.
I guess if I can do that, then that's a good thing, because the world's pretty damn tough, that's for sure. And you got to learn that.
It is.
I wish I can do a lot differently, I think, but we can't have a do-over at it. So I think all of the different things, the good and the bad, you know, had to come to this point and made them who they are right now.
Right.
You know?
I agree. But moving forward with the dating thing, what are your expectations? Like, what is it
I was
that?
just gonna get more wine. Should I take you with me or leave you right here?
Oh, go ahead. Go get more wine. You're fine.
Okay. I think I need to turn more lights on too. Am I too in the dark?
No, you look terrific. And, I haven't been around a woman in a while, and those shorts are kind of killing me there, Carrie.
I'm so damn hot that the sweatshirt might come off. This is gonna be a problem. I gotta open the window.
God, how can I get the heat turned up in there?
Oh my gosh. Okay. All right, I'm ready.
Good.
How
So-
am I? What?
So what are your expectations, like, when you're on the dating scene now? What is your expectation, and what, like, what do you think? What's the plan A, plan B? Like, how do you work that?
Ugh, I don't have any plans.
Yeah,
I normally don't
either.
plan on anything in life. I just wing everything, which could be a problem. You know what?
You have to. I think you have
What's
to.
that?
I think you have to. I don't know how anybody has a plan. It's like getting into a fight. The Mike Tyson line was, "Everybody's got a plan until I punch him in the face," and then
Yeah.
everything goes how it goes. So, like, you don't know who you're going to run into, how your life's going to be.
Yeah, there's no answers for the future. That's for sure. You can't predict anything. You know, my
Right.
girlfriend said something, like last year, would anybody think that we'd be in the same situation right now? Like, no, like anything could happen, any type of twist and turn. I really have no expectations when it comes to dating, to be quite honest. I don't have a plan. I think years and years ago, I used to think, oh, this is what I want, and I want a relationship, or I want this. And, if you go into it that way, I feel like I'm not going to find what I'm looking for.
Right.
I put myself first a lot, of different things that I want with business and work. I mean, I'm working just like anybody else,
Right.
I'm trying to, take care of myself and do things that I want for the future and for my children. And I'm only well, now that they're grown, but still to be a good parent to them. I'm hoping that along the path, somebody finds their way in, and they may not.
Yeah, that's tough. I mean, so are you someone who, like, do you believe in, like, I've never been someone who believed in, I don't know, like, love, like the fairy tale kind of love stuff. Like, I've never believed in it. Like, I always believed in infatuation, and, like that sort of lasts in the beginning.
Yeah.
But I have had a couple relationships that I think that it could last a long time. And I think it has more to do with, are two people willing to work at making it, for me to do like the whole thing, right? To do like the live together, like whole thing, not married, because that's a bridge too far, but to live together and like really make a life out of it. I have to find someone, like, I don't think there's any like parameters that anything she has to qualify for. The only thing she has to qualify for is she willing to work hard enough to make that happen? Because like I would put everything into something if I knew that other person would put everything into it, because I would prefer to be alone versus some of these people that I see where the dude is like living in the garage half the time and the wife is in the house and they seem like they have separate lives. And like, why? I'll just have a separate life then. And you can just do your thing. I'll go do mine at my house and you live at your house. But if you could do something where you really, really got along and you really like to spend time together. And I mean, I'm talking about time, like if I'm reading something and you're reading something, we could be in the same room and not have to fucking talk the entire time. Like I don't have to entertain the person I'm with constantly, but we're together, sort of a thing. Like I think that for me, that's the goal. The goal would be to find somebody that I really want that person over everybody else. Not saying that I can't like go out for beers with some guys in the afternoon sometime or something like that. But if I had my druthers, I would choose to be with that person all the time. And for me, my problem is like, I like women. So, and I mean, like, I like women. I think there's a lot of dudes who don't really like women. They like the way women look. They like to fuck them. They like to, have that one on their arm, but they don't really, they feel like women are not, as smart or some dumb shit like they got going on. And I'm the polar opposite of that. I believe dudes are dumb. I love to hang out with dudes. Like, it's fun. Like, we have some laughs, talk about dumb shit. But, like, in my life, I hang out with women way more than I hang out with men. It's weird, but, like, I'll have a dinner party here, and it's usually 6 women and 1 husband, and then me. And I'm having a blast. Like,
I know. Guys are simple folks. Guys are simple, and like with you, women, because you get to be in depth the times that we've even talked. We've talked like today, we talked for an hour and a half on the phone. Who knew? And that's nice because you're easy to talk to. And so women, we talk about a million different things. Like with my girlfriends, I can talk to them 7 times a day, about 12 different topics like this. And you can keep up too, Bill. You know what I mean? So that's fun. It's fun to do that with somebody. And I don't think that you can have that kind of conversation with some guys.
Most guys, no.
Guys.
Even, and it's a different, enjoyable thing, but it's more like it's more competitive. It's more, I don't know how to explain it, but like, and then some guys are impossible. Like, I do not want to go to lunch with,
like, guys are more competitive. How? Because they're like,
well, I don't surround myself with those people. If you're a douchebag and you want to tell me about your car or
your car, how much you make, because men associate themselves with those things, though, like, how much they make and what they do. And girls are different,
Yes. I've never had that kind of, right.
Different.
Right. I've almost never had that conversation with a woman, but a guy, it'll go there. And I'm like, why are we doing this? And my problem with that conversation is, like I told you this afternoon, I mostly know I'm better than most people. Like, that's just how I operate. Like, I know I got really freaked out when I went from working in the construction business, my own business, to working as a realtor and seeing the amount of nothing that they got done. And I'm like, you've been here all day and you haven't done anything. And this was office work. Like, they were not doing anything. And I'm like, oh my God, I feel so unproductive in this situation. Like, I can't do this. So like, and then other people that I talk to, like, I got friends, dudes that can't hold jobs down. Like, how can you be 40 in your 40s and not be able to keep a job or not have a good job? And I mean, I know that there's going to be some guy watching this and going to be pissed off, but I'm like, listen, man, I don't know. Go to night school. Figure it the fuck out. If you're in your late 40s and you haven't figured it out yet, you're probably not going to. This is going to be a fucking mess the rest of the time. Like, it's going to be constantly unemployed guy. And that, like, I opened my business when I was 23, And I mean, I'm the employer. So like I never was able to collect unemployment, but I have never collected unemployment in my life. I broke my neck, like totally jacked up. I wouldn't know what a food stamp looked like. Like that's not a thing. Like I'll need a little bit of time to get myself back on my proverbial feet, and then I got to get to work. Like I had people show up at the hospital to try and get me to play rugby, like quad rugby. And I'm listening to the guy, he's doing his whole pitch, and I'm like, dude, I got kids. Like my sports time is over. Like I'm gonna work on their sports thing coming up here. So like I'm not gonna travel around doing my sport at 30 some odd years old. Like that's like, I don't know, like a grown boy. Like, you know, that the other one is like I always bitch about dudes who wear gym shoes.
Who wear gym shoes?
Gym shoes. Yeah. Hey, if you're going to the gym, you should wear gym shoes. If you're going out on a fucking date, you should not have gym shoes on.
You should not have gym shoes on. I mean, I think Chucks are okay, but not gym shoes.
Right. I mean, if you're making a statement with your ironic gym shoes, that's fine. But if you're just wearing your New Balance gym shoes or your Reeboks, the fuck are you doing? Like, did you see Crazy Stupid Love?
I don't know. Maybe.
They addressed that. I don't know who the Ryan Gosling addresses it with Steve Carell. He's like, "Can I see your shoes?" And he gives him his shoes, and he throws them off the fucking balcony. He goes, "What are you doing?" He goes, "Are you the millionaire Steve Jobs?" And he's like, "No." He goes, "Then you can't wear fucking gym shoes." And he takes him out to a shoe store and he buys fucking shoes. It's because he was going to date. If you want to be a guy and you want to be taken seriously, buy some fucking shoes.
Remember when you put that post a while back and you said something?
That was the point.
I said shoes. Yeah. You're right. Like, my eyes are up here, Carrie. Yeah, like I always look at shoes because I think I even said to you, there's not too many things a guy could do. Nice shoes. It's not like they have to have nice shoes for me to go out with you, but shoes, a watch. You know, what do you guys have? We have jewelry. We've got clothes. We've got a belt. You know, purse.
Yes, like, the amount of things that a woman has to do it's crazy. It's absolutely insane. I mean, you guys have to pluck everything, shave everything, and I mean, you know, everything. Like it's all got to be put together. Because if you show up with that 80s bush, you're gonna have a problem with that too.
Well, you guys better not either. I mean, my God, it can go both ways. Or like a hairy back or hairy shoulders. No, that stuff's got to go. You got to go right to the. Right. Oh my gosh. I know. Yeah. My girlfriend was, she showed me a picture of someone she was talking to a few months ago, and she's like, but he kind of like, he's really hairy. So I told him, if we date, you got to go get waxed. I'm like,
wow. Wow. Yeah. I enjoy, and I don't know, like, I don't care what I'm doing. Like, I brush my teeth, brush my hair. Like, I mean, like everything is usually put together, whether I'm just at the house or not. And I mean, I have really curly hair. So like, if I don't, like, it's like Kramer. Like, I'm like, it's all over the fucking place.
I know. Why don't you just do this for the quarantine? You should have done it. It would have been kind of fun. Like you couldn't have like a little thing going on.
Right. No.
Not a good look.
I mean, I grow a beard, but I still, trim it and everything else. I see guys that grow a beard and it's like up to their eyeballs.
I've done the same thing. I've tried to keep up my appearance, but there's been a few times where I'm like, I've stamped my one girlfriend. I'm like, oh my God, look at me. What's happening? Help. I would like my nails. That's for sure.
Right. But yeah, so I mean, like, I think I made posts before that were like explaining to dudes that you need to, like, I see construction's a weird place. Like you deal with some construction guys. I deal with some
construction guys. Yes.
Right. And some of them are unkept. I mean, I've had, like, as a general contractor, I've had my, like, heating and air conditioning guy or my concrete guy or someone show up, and I'm looking at him like, dude, you have a forest growing out of your ears, nose, like everything is like, you just haven't like trimmed any of that shit in forever. And I'm like, how are you why is your wife not saying something about this? Like, she's just perfectly fine with
Doing that too. I want to like take out a personal trimmer and just like kind of go in there. I think they might say thank you.
Yes,
Just like,
right,
give me
right.
5 minutes. Let me just clean you up.
I mean, yeah, no, like I can't even, yeah. So I posted that photo to him, like, dudes, you gotta like, I said to you today, that was something that I was gonna ask you about tonight. I said, I don't wear cologne, and you're like, really?
What? Oh, I love a good smelling man.
Now I wear like deodorant that smells, so that's the hair pomade that I use smells, and
Uh-huh.
then I shave my head still on the sides. So when I shave my head every 4 days, I use an aftershave on my head. Just because, like, I don't get razor burn or anything, but it feels good to throw a little aftershave on me then. But that's it. Like, I'm
So
always,
wait, you never ever did? Like ever?
no, oh, like high school, the Dracoir, whatever the hell that was, and then the polo.
Black bottom.
Yes, right.
Oh,
That's how it was back then. But I think I always get leery of people that are doused in that because I think that they don't have good hygiene.
oh,
Like, I don't
I
smell bad ever. Yeah, I think they put that shit on because they stink. Like,
well,
no.
I mean, I think that it could be used for that. That's for sure. It could mask something, but
Right, right.
for the most part, I hope no. I don't think so.
I don't. I like to be able to smell a woman's perfume, but only if I'm so close that I can. Like, I
Yeah,
don't want to smell
you don't
it.
want to be wafting or wafting or whatever that word would be through there. Edit that part out.
Right?
You don't want it through the air. No, where
No,
you can like
no.
color before you see her.
Well, I feel like
That might not be good to say either.
no, but I feel like if I'm close enough to smell it, then it's something special because it's just me that smells it. But if
Yeah,
everybody in the room smells,
that's for
right,
sure.
right,
I hear
right.
you.
So, I think that the things that I have on smell, but you have to be on top of me to, like,
So when someone wants to smell you, they got to go in for the armpit or behind the ear.
right, right, right.
Every fourth day. Don't catch you on like a Tuesday because it might happen on a Wednesday.
Right. So yeah, I mean, that's what's important. And I mean, as a guy, I don't think I have even, oh, I do. I was thinking, do I have any stories where the woman like, wasn't properly groomed? And I do. There was a girl that had hair in a place that I was surprised she had hair. Yes, yes. It was above her waist. It was above
Where
her
would you
waist.
above her waist?
She had hair on her nipples. And I was like, what the fuck?
Wait, how much?
A little bit. A little bit. Like, I thought I had something in my teeth, and then I looked, and I'm like, nope, I don't.
But we can't talk about this anymore. I can't talk about that. That's awful. What does that mean? Like more than a few? Like were they long? They had to be in your
Now, there was
teeth.
probably only a few, but one's too many. So
How do you not look down and see something like that? That's not good. I mean, like
we were young. We were probably 17, and I think she just didn't know that she was supposed to clean that up.
well, 17. I mean, that was a long time ago.
It was, but it
I
stuck
don't
with
feel.
me. Stuck with me ever since. I was like really surprised. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that's something you don't forget.
No. Not at all. So yeah, I mean, I've had some horror story dates. Do you go on setups ever? Well, you have that friend that I got to get on the podcast who's got all kinds of relationship advice.
Oh my God, she'd be perfect. She's like a no holds barred type of person. She's crazy. But she's. I don't mind saying that because she knows she's nuts. She's 63, I think. But I'm really good friends with her. I talk to her all of the time. We've been friends for years. She's pretty amazing. She always does. I read a lot by her, and she's more like psychoanalytical, which is either good or bad. But she's got a lot of advice for different things, and I like that. She's a doctorate as well, and she's she knows enough about, she knows a lot about enough. Maybe I'm saying that wrong. Maybe it's the wine. What did you ask me before?
I said, I've been set up a bunch of times.
Oh, set up. Yeah. You know what? I mean, I've been set up a few times, and I think like now my friends now, they just know not to do it, not in a bad way. It's just I think I'm like more particular, but I think it's set up like in a group setting. That's all right. And if I'm feeling it, great. If I'm not, then I'm vocal about it, but not in a bad way, I guess I should say. You know what I mean? Just because you're being set up doesn't mean it's going to end up working out. I know that friends have good intentions, and I think that it could be a really good thing because it takes a long time to get to know somebody. And
Sure.
our friends know who we are, and then they might have a friend who they really understand who that person is to feel like they might be a good mesh. But to your point a long time ago, you said that you're always looking for someone that could gel with us. So just because, they might feel like these two people will get together on a setup, it just doesn't matter. It's up to us. I think that we both have to be in the same mindset at the right time in order to have anything form. My setups, my cousins, like, have had family set us up, and they were fails. They were just more fails. I think if there were successes, I'd still be with them.
Right. Of course. I wonder if there are marriages like, in India and stuff like that are arranged that last the through time.
But don't they have to? Does an arranged marriage work?
I don't know, but I wonder if so you with your kids and me with my kids, I truly have their best interest in mind. I see all kinds of people who make terrible choices. Like, wow, I cannot believe you made that bad of a choice to date that person. Like, that looked like a nightmare and you did it anyway. If I was to choose, like, if there was a way for me to, like, interview and choose women for my, like, say I chose 5 for my son to date, and then, he would do the 5. I know that and I'm sure you would do the same for your sons, you would weed out the losers. And, like, at our age, we're better at it.
I think that we would do is we're going to choose the people that we feel would work best with, who they are, their personality, who their heart is, especially for our kids. Because we know, like, there's only a few people that we are going to know more than anybody else in the entire world. And I think it's our children, in our whole lifetime.
Right. I agree.
Yes. And I think that we'd feel like we're going to find somebody for their, if they're nurturing or for their personality, but then, only we know what makes us tick. And, our heart go pitter patter, and we'll do the things that people don't normally reveal, and especially our kids to us. So there's that whole aspect of it. We could interview people thinking that we're going to find the best person. But there's a whole nother side to a relationship rather than just compatibility on the surface.
Yes. Right. I think that sometimes if you took the, like, knee jerk or, like, first reaction stuff out of it, I definitely looked at some of my friends and said, that's not going to work out. And I was right. Like, it didn't work out. And I think that if I was in charge of setting someone else up, like, really setting them up, like, really, like, not just be like, oh, I have a friend that's single and you're single, let's just see, sort of thing. Like, that's lame. But if I was, like, it was truly, like, back in the old country days and stuff like that, like, Italians always had matchmakers. So, like, a woman was a matchmaker in the village, and she would know the families and be like, all right, I'm going to set Jocko up with, Maria over here. And, like, she did the work to be a matchmaker. I just wonder if you would do better. Like, it seems on the surface, like, even what's that?
Choosing a mate for your friends, choosing somebody else, because you see, like, your friends choosing, like, the wrong person all the time.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Terrible choices I see them make. And
I know.
So if your job, you, like, seriously had a job where it was like, all right, I'm gonna, like I don't know, like, how you would gauge it on success, but like your job was you cared. And the only analogy I have is I care so much about my kids. I would definitely look for the best, scenario for that. Now, would I be biased and say, like set the standard too high because they're my kids and I know, that I, think that they could do better than that. There's all kinds of people I've seen dating and I'm like, my daughter, good Lord, I can't even imagine like approving of a boy. Like I just can't.
My daughter, I was really hard on my daughter's boyfriend's choice or the choices and the guys that she dated. My kids, like when I got divorced, they never went back and forth. They were always here besides like one little small stint with my daughter. So, I was like the mom and the dad, and I can be a pretty much of a hard ass if I need to, especially with my kids. I'm Italian. You don't mess with my brothers. You don't mess with my family, not my kids, especially my daughter. And so when it came to guys, it's like I don't want anybody messing with my daughter or talking to my daughter, or if you're bad or if there was anything. I can't even imagine it as a guy, how much more. I mean, I was the woman standing at the doorstep like the man would. Like, you treat my daughter right, or you're gonna come talking to me,
Yeah, right. And I always kind of took a mentality with my daughter that like we would have talks between me and my daughter that I wanted to prepare her to make those decisions so that like I don't like those like all the memes and stuff and the t-shirts with the dad with the shotgun. Like,
no,
listen,
yeah. And I didn't mean to say I was like that either. You want to teach your kids to have good choices, but you can't help but intervene if you think to see your daughter as maybe,
no. I didn't take it.
I mean, really, you're a guy. You know what guys think and what guys are. Then this guy comes to your house to take your daughter out. I mean, you just want to like strangle him.
Yes, right. No, I didn't take what you said to be like that, but it does drive me crazy when guys are like, I'll shoot the guy or threaten the guy. Listen, in the end, your daughter's going to have to be the one making the better decision. So, you better have that conversation with her beforehand because, you just stand there intimidating someone's not going to help out anybody.
No, agreed. And you want to just instill the best that you can so they do make the right decisions, and we don't always. I mean, they're not going to, when they were young, then we're going to make not bad decisions, but not always the best decisions, even when we're older.
Right. I agree. Well, we watch a lot of NCAA wrestling on TV here. And my sons, when they were probably like 14 or 15, were sitting there watching the Big Ten Network. And they always have commercials for the colleges. And it's like a student, and they're talking about why they love, Michigan University or why they love Indiana or something like that. And this beautiful young woman was on there, and she's like, I'm a chemistry, chemical engineer major, and I'm also on the lacrosse team, and this is why I like Indiana and stuff like that. And I glanced over at my sons, and they were both like kind of a little bit mouth open, looking at this pretty girl. And I'm like, so you like that? And they're like, yeah, she's nice. And I'm like, you know where she's at? They're like, no. And I go, college. She's in college. So you got to go to college to meet a girl like that.
You're going to meet some girls. Right, exactly. Not at home.
No, right. So set your bar high. I think I want them to, do things that not make mistakes that I made. The thing that I always say to them is like, a smart person learns from their mistakes. A wise person learns from other people's mistakes. So do yourself a favor and learn from some of mine. Like, go to school. I want them so badly to be like successful and 30 years old before they find.
You didn't do such a bad job. You may have not gone away to school, but we can't knock ourselves. Sometimes we do that. We want better for our children, and for you to say you want them to go to school. I mean, if you would have went away to school, is that what you associate yourself as being like not making?
No.
Yeah.
You're thinking about it now as you're saying that. Yeah, you're right. For me, going away to school probably would have been a disaster. Like it would have
I
been.
went away at 22. I mean, you may have come and visited me for all I know. I forgot who, one of the kids we went to high school with, like, don't you remember I came to visit you? Again, it's terrible. I admit this. I'm like, I don't remember. But I went away at 22. It's fun to live away, that's for sure. And I think that's like what you were saying, like maybe more of the experience. Like your boys are completely different kids than you were in high school. I mean,
Yes.
that's one. You know what I mean? So, you know, you want your kids to do things that you didn't and have the experiences maybe that you didn't. You're like saying, oh, I want you to go away to college because I didn't. You know, you have raised your children at 18 so much more different than you were raised. And I hope I'm not, you know, I'm not trying to be offensive by saying that, but like we always want something better for them. But in the end, we really do. We do better than I think than we give ourselves credit.
Yeah, some people do. Some people definitely do. Others are
Most people do, I think, I hope. Yeah.
right. So, but like, so that's a weird dynamic when it comes to dating because you know, like you look at, I don't know, like I would operate dating wise in a different way than I would want my sons to operate. Like I know for sure when I was 19, if she was attractive, I was always game to give it a try. Let's see, you know what I mean, how this works out. And I mean, some of them didn't work out past, you know, a couple weeks, and then I was the hell out of there. I was also not very good at like younger girls. I remember having a lot of younger girls. Like I was a senior, and there was like a lot of like sophomores and freshmen that were like, you know, very bold about coming up to me and saying stuff, and I'm like, what am I gonna do? Like
Yeah, what do we do with you? Yeah, you're just like a child. I know.
right, yeah, you're so young and little, and like I'm connected with them now on Facebook, and like you know we're real close to age now, so like it doesn't matter. But back then it was like so like no, this is not gonna happen. So yeah, no, it was strange. So when I look at my sons, I go, some of it is I guess that you're gonna have to make your own mistakes because I did. So you know they're gonna have to do that. But at our age now, I don't know. I'm not willing to make those mistakes anymore.
Yeah, no, I'm too tired to make mistakes, even though I think I do all the time.
Uh,
I know what I'm doing. I only hope for the best.
right. So the have you had any? You said you were on a couple of dating sites.
Oh God, yes.
Any luck? Did anything ever come out of that was like promising?
Well, I'm still single, so
I mean, that
I
you
mean,
thought maybe was
you
going to
know
be.
what? I go on, I would say like every year or more. I don't love to be on it. Like who does? You know what I mean? It's not like I'm like, oh Jesus, I better go on there to find, you know, my soulmate. It's interesting. I'll tell you
Right.
that. Last year I was on, and I met somebody, and the year before, I mean, I've met friends. There's people that I'm still actually friends with on Facebook. I always try to leave things, you know, as nice as I can too. I'm on now, and right before this whole coronavirus came on, I'm like, oh, you know, what the hell? I'll go back on. It's been like well over a year.
Sure.
It's well, I haven't met anybody. I've talked to a few. You know what I find? There's a lot of scammers, that's for sure. I mean, I get at least once a day, and you can read them like a book. Like in the beginning, I'm thinking, huh, he's really good looking, but now you can read them so easy. It's like I'm fucking around with them. Like, let me just see how long I can keep this one in here before he deletes, because he's not going to get, you know, what he needs to. But I actually saw a guy, and I was talking to him, and what was interesting is he put his first and last name on there. And you know, I'm not one to give my phone number out right away at all, ever. You know, I think that I'm going to be a little bit more cautious, but he had his first and last name on there. So I'm like, oh, why not? Let's look him up on Facebook.
Yeah.
So I look him up on Facebook, and he's in a relationship, and he's got the girl on there. And I'm like, what the hell? You know, and he's on this dating site, and we're kind of talking, but nothing, you know, for like 4 days. Who cares?
Yeah.
So then I look her up on Facebook and I'm thinking, and I did this is a true story. And I actually reached out to her and I didn't want to be like the girl, like the bitch, like, oh, cause I'm not trying to hurt her, but I just said, hey, listen, I have no idea, if you guys are still dating. I would want someone to do this for me. And I sent her the profile pictures and I said, I've been talking to her for a couple of days, but it shows he's in a relationship. And she's like, oh my gosh, thanks for sending it. She was really, really good about it. She's like, I like the fact that you're looking out for other fellow women and he's just an attention seeker. We got into a fight and I'm thinking, you know what? He'd be done at that point. I wouldn't even gone out with him again. It would have been over. And the fact that she knows he's an attention seeker, I mean, these are red flags. I would have been gone before that too. Right. But legit, Bill, this past week, within the last couple of days, I'm flipping through another one. There he is again. And so I messaged her again. I'm like, oh my gosh. I hope you're not going out.
Was she still with him?
Yeah.
Oh my God. She deserves every bit of mess that she gets. Good Lord. What are you doing with that person still? So I have a story that's similar.
I agree with that because I wouldn't have let it. And I think like there's sometimes like we choose like the same wrong person for us all of the time. There are people out there that do that. Like you said that you see some of your friends who like, you're like, oh my God, why are you going out with that person? Or why is she dealing with that guy? He's my friend. Like, why would she put up with that? Because there's, we choose that wrong person. We can't help it. It's like there's something about that same personality or narcissistic personality or something that we just keep going for and we keep taking it. And, it could have been her that was doing that. But now she says she's over it. But, I want to say something about, okay, for her, that's one thing. But for him, like, how fucking stupid are you? First and last name. And I'm a perfect stranger. I don't even know this person. I don't even know this girl. And I reached out to her because I saw her boyfriend twice. Does he not think he's on a website that maybe one of her millions of friends is going to notice and maybe reach out to her, this girl as well? That's like my whole point too. Like guys just like, do they not think? Like I think if I was in a relationship with somebody and I was like that dumbass attention seeker and I wanted to go on, our dating website in order to get some attention, wouldn't I think enough? Like I think a woman would think enough to think I'm going to get caught. Like, I don't know if guys don't think that way or like he didn't. So that's like the kind of things that I found on there. I see a lot. I can go on.
So I do hear people that go on the dating sites for entertainment value because it's hilarious, right? Like, I mean, there's funny shit on there as far as that goes. Like you could tell someone's got a picture from the 80s on their profile picture and they're 55 years old. And
yeah, I got a ton of those. I told you I got like collages. I ask people to send me like a photo right now. Or I get them on FaceTime, on some of the websites you can call, like give me a phone call. And they're like, oh no, I got pink eye. Like, who got fucking pink eye? It's because you're not that person. It's obvious. I think like those people are just looking to play around. And there's women out there or men, because it can go on either side, that just want to just have, something to do and just attention. And there's someone that's going to fall into that category.
Yeah. And I don't know, do women get catfish? Because I mean, there are definitely weird dudes who set up accounts on Facebook with a woman's picture and they are trying to get a guy to talk to them, like in a chat, about sex or whatever like that. And it's for sure a dude. Like this is for sure not the woman, like that's in the thing. I think I just posted the other day, like I had 36, it was like in the last couple of weeks, friend requests. 99% of them are women. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure that most of these are not actually women. Like they have like
why would you say that?
I don't know.
Maybe a lot of women want to be your friend, Bill. I almost called Bob out of nowhere. I don't know why I said that. I think
who sends a friend request to somebody who has one connection with them?
Oh, I don't even know how people get. I get a lot of friend requests too, and I look to see who our mutual friends are, and there's nobody. But the people that show up on my Facebook thing, like people I would know, and I look, There's nobody. And they actually all look the same. They're all that same looking, they're all guys. They got that look to them. I think there's something in there that's trying to make us hit like.
Is it? Yeah, you think it's an algorithm? I don't know. The social media thing for me too, it's really tough because the filter. I have connections with some women that they are so filtered, and then when you see an actual picture, they are a meth head. They have no teeth. It is a fucking mess. And they have terrible skin. Everything's a fucking wreck. But that thing with the cat ears looks just fine.
I hate filters, and my girlfriends will tell you that. Like sometimes I'll be like, no filter. Like, oh, Carrie, I hate that. I'm like, no filter. We don't need it. There could be some good lighting and things, but yeah, I think why that's no different than we were talking earlier. The guys that say they're too short or they're shorter than they are, or taller than they are, and they actually are shorter. The filters for girls are ridiculous. You can see filters though, and I think I feel bad for you guys because guys don't do the filters ever, but the women do. And I would assume if you're looking through and it's nothing but filter after filter, you're like, my God, just be yourself. Authentic can go really far.
Well, she knows what she looks like, and she's really happy when she takes that filter one. She looks so much better. So, it's selfie after selfie. That's the other one too. Okay, so
I have a lot of selfies though, because who else is gonna? I mean, I'm not.
No. That's where I was going. I like to go on Facebook to see people, and as a guy, I appreciate when attractive women take pictures of themselves. I want to see that. That's definitely keep taking selfies, Carrie. It's fine by me. I'm just saying that when I see somebody that has just posted I don't know, so many selfies, it's get a hobby, will you, for Christ's fucking sake. What's up, Maribeth?
Where you been? I'm gonna plug in my phone.
Sorry, I got some shit going on, so.
Oh, you okay?
Yeah, everything's fine.
Good. What you call it? No, so that's we were talking about social media and people that are on there, and everything looks so fake. It's crazy. The guy thing I don't get. Carrie said she's 5'9". If a guy is saying he's 6 feet tall and he's 5'9", that's a problem. That's not
what it usually is. It's more just if they're 5'10", 5'9", 5'8", right? And they'll lie about it because it's hard. Most women, I don't even know what the average height is. 5'7", maybe.
For a woman, I don't think so. I think the average height is probably 5'4" or something like that for a woman.
I'm 5'2", but I'm short.
Right.
You're 5'2"? Oh my goodness.
Don't ask my weight.
Don't ask me.
No, wait. I'd rather say my weight than my age. 100%. But you know what?
Do you embrace your age? You have to, because you're not even 50 yet, right?
No, I do. You know what? I do now. I don't like it.
No, but you know what? I mean, I know a lot of people who have passed on at my age and younger that I friends with. So I'm just grateful that I'm here and that, and there's honestly, it's not so much for me. It's not my age. It's where I'm at in my age.
Agreed.
You know
I know. Yeah, I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot since even just, I would say after 40-ish, I would say after 40, probably more so since I've been divorced. That's for sure. I like that. And I wish this time would last a little bit longer in this body. Like my babies, that first year, man, I wanted that first year for years. The baby and the smell and everything that happens in that first year, it goes by so quickly. And I think everything that I've learned in the last few years, I wish that would just stay for a while because,
yes.
I feel like I finally got it. I just got it. And now,
well, I'll give you a weird
I
one.
known, like they say, if I would have known then what I know now.
Yes.
But I didn't have what I have.
Right. Well, the weird one for me is I had a fantastic life before I got injured. I mean, I had a blast. I was 30, almost 31 when I got injured, but there has been no better time in my life than the last 15 years. No better time. I mean, I have had so much fun raising. I don't know if part of it is, I don't think I would have had such a good time if I was still married. Like, I don't mean like run around with women. I mean, like, I got to do whatever I wanted to do. If I wanted to I had a pontoon boat for a bunch of years, like, and we had like a big motor on there. Took the kids skiing, tubing, all that stuff. If I want to go to Michigan or I want to go to Minnesota, I would just book the trip and go on. I didn't have to talk to anybody about it. Like, I didn't have to do anything about anything. And then I kind of got my way with most everything with my kids. My daughter was a gymnast because I put her in gymnastics. My sons wrestled because I put them in wrestling. Their mother was just kind of around for the ride or whatever like that. Like, I'm not sure. It would have been easier to raise my kids married, but I wouldn't have been able to. And you guys have been divorced for a long time too. I think it's more liberating for a woman to be divorced than a guy, because some guys are overbearing and, like, you know, they want to make the rules, or they want to say this, or they want to say I'm the breadwinner, some stupid fucking shit like that. And then when you're divorced, you're on your own. You can do what you want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like,
Yeah. You
I don't
make
know why so many women have ideas to go back to that. It seems like you should own your sexuality and all that other stuff. Figure out how to get, you know, physical contact when you want it, and, you know, conversation when you want it. But then also be like, I'm in charge of my own shit, and I'm gonna fucking deal with some dude telling me what to fucking do. Because, I mean, I don't know, both of you had to date some guy that thought he was in charge.
Oh yeah, controlling people. Yeah.
Next. I don't do control.
Yes. Well, yes. I know. Sometimes, I mean, I fell into it once, like a little, and not even long, a couple of months. But, you know, I saw the signs in the beginning, but I really wish that I would have like left earlier than I did. But I actually,
Right.
I know, and not to keep saying that, it's fine. You know, it's not like I'm like, oh my gosh, I wasted so much time. But you know, you learn something from everyone. But the whole controlling thing that's the worst. No, I'll never do that.
Yeah, it just seems like from a woman's
Uh-uh.
right, from
I'm
a
waiting.
woman's point of view, it seems like a terrible thing. Like, and, you know, like when I was walking around, like my ex-wife was 5'2", and, you know, not like a big girl or anything like that. I mean, I'm a 6 foot tall guy. When I broke my neck, I was 195 with a 30-inch waist. I could bench press 300 pounds. Like, if I wanted to, I could kill her with my bare hands. That was never a thing. But what I'm saying to, like, from a woman's point of view, it has to feel liberating to be in your own house, doing your own thing. Like, if you want to plant flowers here, put that there, whatever you want to do, you can just do without asking or talking to. Some of the worst times I've had is when I was dating someone and then I was doing like a project and we tried to collaborate on style. And I'm like, oh, this is not, like, I know what I want to do. Like, this is my job. Like, I do construction shit. So, like, that's a test for a relationship, to go into a construction project. I've gone to people's houses for a renovation. I don't know how the marriage survived the fucking renovation. Like, just a kitchen renovation.
Agreed. And that's what I do too, like with my, you know, side business as well. And I've seen like the husband and wives just like, you just sit there and you listen. You know, they got to work this out to themselves. You know, what direction you want to do it. If someone wants to do one thing, they want to do the other thing. And
I get annoyed with the guys. I've looked at guys and said, why don't you just shut up? Like, I don't understand why you're even saying anything. You let her have this the way that she wants to have this. Like, I like, in my mind, if I was, you know, married and we were going to do a kitchen renovation, she could pick out everything, do it exactly. I mean, unless she's got horrible taste, then, you know, like, just pick it out. I figure if she picks it all out, I don't have to deal with it later, because if I pick it out and she doesn't like it, then I'm going to hear about it forever.
Yeah. That's
Right.
my last client. And he said the same thing. He's like, you know what? She's the boss. Let her pick it out. We want her to be happy. This is the way she wants it, which is nice. And it's true. The times that I've run into that, Bill, because I do the renovations for a living-ish as well. You know, is if the guy has his own opinion about something and they're more into decorating and then they work together and maybe they're butting heads on certain things, that's one thing. But if it's like, no, it's got to be my way and this is what I want to do, then that's just probably a messed up relationship from the start. You know,
Right.
it's not just it's about other things.
Yeah, I don't know how it's going to make it through the renovation. I really don't. Like, I just don't really understand that. And I
It's
always
gonna kill
think,
someone. Kitchen renovation is the worst. If you can live through that with no kitchen, I mean, I've seen like just tears coming out of women, and you have too. To be without a kitchen, I've gone without a kitchen like 4 times in my life. You know, I've done houses in my own house, and I understand, I empathize. I'm like, this is gonna be a bad situation. It's gonna get worse.
I moved into this place and it was plywood floors and I had shelving units in the kitchen. There was no cabinets, nothing was done. I moved in here and then did it as I was here. I could never think I could do that in a marriage. Like, that would not go well. Like, that would be a nightmare.
It's hard.
So
You
yeah,
do
I
it-
mean,
Dealing without like the kitchen and the kitchen sink and the refrigerators and the other
Right.
torn up, and then making decisions, and then money is just pouring out. You know, I think there's a lot of different factors in that.
yes, right, because you're kind of combining all of
Lot.
the things. So the finances, I've seen couples that were doing a room addition for, and it go really south on money because, like, and I'll make people aware. Listen, if we're here to do a $120,000 job, you're going to make changes as this job goes on. Expect it to come up 10% more in the end, because that's what's going to happen. But people get sticker shock. They're like, can't believe it costs $12,000 more. Like, that's 10%. Like, you change the cabinets, you change this stuff, like, you upgrade it. What do you want me to do? So no, I mean, that's all, stuff that tests a relationship. And then we're not even talking about, like, I was never in a relationship where somebody was a substance abuser or someone was like couldn't stop cheating or something like that. And I mean, I know women that have been in relationships that the guy is running around everywhere, and it's like, I don't know how they put up with any of that stuff. I don't get any of it. What's really disheartening to me is that I've heard lots of stories from women about guys that were straight up like ludicrously abusive, like belittling, and like, then again, if you've been in a relationship, anything like that, what would make you go back to going in a relationship? Like, that seems like a hard thing for me to, if I've never been in a relationship where like some woman was like, I don't know, like saying all kind, like, you're stupid or you're little or what, I don't know what, but I've never been in a relationship. I could not imagine that would last one day. Like, I would be like, what the fuck am I doing here? But women stay in some of those relationships sometimes for a very long time where the guy's a fucking abusive dick. Like, it's amazing to me.
Agreed. You know what? They may have been in that type of relationship before that's probably the same relationship they've always been in, but just with somebody else,
Right. My parents weren't the greatest. I remember being 15 years old when they were getting divorced and me saying, thank God, these two people just fight constantly. When they finally got divorced, I'm like, I'm never going to have to listen to the two of them scream at each other anymore. I was thrilled. It was a weird thing, though. Like, I always said, I've never seen a better diet plan than divorce.
Right?
As soon as a woman gets divorced or a guy gets divorced, they're like in the gym. They're like, eating better. Everyone's still like, why didn't you do that effort when you were in the relationship? Maybe you wouldn't have got divorced.
Well, I think people learn, like, for me, like, my ex is totally different than with his wife than he was with me. Like, he had the control on the money and everything else, but from what I gather, she's got control now.
That's a weird one
If she
too.
wants, she gets.
Yeah, my in-laws were the woman wore the pants. Like totally told him what to do. Like his diet was dictated by her.
Oh my God.
I know, and I was like, wow, this would be a really foreign thing for me to have to ever deal with. Like, that wasn't how it was at my house, but like, that's how they were running the whole thing. And I couldn't do that.
I'm sick and tired. I've been married twice, and
Right.
I'm sick and tired of teaching the guy how to treat a woman, because in both my cases, my ex-husbands treat their new wives like gold. I wasn't treated that way, so I want somebody who's wants to treat me better than they treated their first, or what.
Right.
You know, and that's hard to find. And I'm not saying I want somebody to kiss my ass or anything, but just treat me as a human being and not as a maid or a cook or a caretaker. Because that's
so. Okay, so me and Carrie, when you were gone, we're talking about like if you had your druthers, if you could just pick out how you want the next relationship to go, how would it go? Like, what would what's the end game, and like, what would be the thing that you're looking for? You know what I mean? I don't want to
somebody who's like not going to cheat, somebody who's stable, as far as like, everybody's got baggage, but I don't want to be hearing about your ex-wife or your ex-girlfriend for the rest of my days, I mean, because I understand everybody talks about that, but it's a constant thing. I don't want to have to coach I just dated someone, and he said, we broke up, and he said, I'm coachable, so you could teach me. Like, I'm 51 years old. I'm done with being coach.
I raised my kids.
I'm like, I'm not a coach. No. So I don't know. It's hard to find somebody who's not, everybody and Bill, you and I talked about this the other day. Everybody thinks there's something better on the other side.
Not everybody.
But, but a lot of people do,
Yeah.
I mean.
I think that there's a large contingent of people that have trust issues. And if they felt like they could totally trust somebody, they would, they would not look over the fence.
Well, trust has to be earned. I think trust has to be earned.
Yes.
It's
Sure.
given.
Right.
So
absolutely.
Yeah. And it takes a while to get to know somebody. I mean, we've been walking around this earth for many, many years. Just because we've been talking to each other or dating for a few weeks or a few months doesn't mean I fully know you yet. So I think that it does take a lot of time in order to trust somebody, in order to let your guard down. At least
I'd go further than that, Carrie. I would say that if you've been dating somebody for 2 months, you absolutely do not know them, because
I think for a long time.
You know their representative. You don't really know them. But I want somebody who's willing to stay and learn about me and me them. Give me a chance. Give it a chance instead of just going away.
Well, yeah, I think people leave when it gets tough, like when there's an obstacle, you don't want to have to deal with it. If somebody truly wants to be a friend, it's no different than a friendship. If you've got a friendship and somebody that I really, really like, it takes a long time to develop a great friendship as well, and I think that's no different with a boyfriend or a girlfriend. You're going to get through some bumps if you really, really want to.
Right.
If it's worth your time. If it's not worth your time because of other things that you've seen, you're just going to scoot. Or it's because I'm not ready, in my own place in my life, my job, or where I feel, because it's just easier just to move on than to deal with.
And now that I'm over 50, the whole booty call I'm done with that. I'm done.
Oh yeah, I know, right.
In the beginning, way back when you first get divorced, you're like a kid at a candy store.
And you're okay with the booty call, but over 50 or not?
I wouldn't say it was a booty call, but I was a little more like, I'll date this one or go with that one. I wasn't sleeping around with everybody, but if it didn't work out, I'd be like, okay, on to the next. We're here. I just kind of want to, I don't know, I guess after 50, I just feel that I want somebody who's a little more mature, who knows what they want.
Sure.
No, I do too. It's not worth my time. I'm okay being by myself. I'm okay doing what I'm doing. If it's worth my time, I definitely will make the effort to get to know somebody, you know,
Right.
but like you, I think that's kind of, I think what you're saying is I want someone who's going to be, I mean, I don't know what I want. I really,
Somebody is going to text me and say, you know who I'm talking, you know, I'll just be over in 10 minutes, and leave. And, I'm not, that's not my thing.
oh,
So, right.
no,
No,
well,
I don't think, but wait, so what if, because for a guy, I've had women that I was dating, like, and I'm a really busy person. So like I had a situation where I had, a bunch of showings in the afternoon, and then I had a couple of estimates in the evening, and she knew that I had like a 40-minute window. She showed up for that 40 minutes so we could have sex, and then she left. Like she didn't want to stop me from what I was doing, but she wanted to get some of my time. And that was perfectly fine with me. In fact, I always thought that was kind of cool. Like I was like, wow, this person wanted to like fit in some time between us, and she knew like I'm wired like that. If she just comes in and says let's fuck, then we're gonna do that. And then she left, and like she felt kind of empowered that like she could just come get what she wanted to get right then and then leave. Now it wasn't a situation where we didn't know each other. We were dating, but she knew like my job sucks. As far as like time goes. I was just having a conversation with my son. I'm saying I wish they would do daylight savings every day because I need one more hour every fucking day. Like before I know it, my day's over with. So, but that's only in spring, fall, and summer. Wintertime, shit's like slow and nothing's
so you
going
can
on.
Bill Geithner in the winter, ladies.
Yes, date me in the wintertime.
So wait a minute though, Bill. That's not
In
the only
between
time
then, you only can get in and get out really quick.
I mean, that's not the only time you saw this woman, right? Like you made time other than.
Oh no. We had a whole life, but there are certain times when like in the summertime I make it's seasonal. So like when I was general contracting full time, there was definitely weeks where I could make $12,000, $15,000 in that week. But I knew there was going to be a week in January that I was going to make no money. And
right. You got to take it when you can. Exactly. I do the same thing because I'm in sales and I've been on all commission sales before, and I'm the same way. It's like, if I never stop. I get up at 6 a.m. I'd work out. I make cookies for the family. I clean up. I work all day. I'll, do some mudding and taping, and then, I like go to bed. It's like stupid. And you do need somebody. Not need somebody. You need somebody that can understand that first of all.
Right.
But also with work, I just think, and I know I said earlier that I'm more think about myself, but like everybody has to work. And I think it's good for a woman to have the same work ethic than a man has. It's no different than, and even like you said with your girlfriend, like get in here, let's do it, and then go. That works fine for me too.
Right. So, yes, right. So I mean, and I don't know how women are. Like I know how the women I've dated are, but like I see myself get like irritable or crabby if like a full week goes by and there's no sex. Like it definitely like wears on me. I don't know how like it's not a I don't want to say like that, like 'cause I can jerk off anytime I want to, but
when that you're dating while you're currently dating them and a whole week goes by.
What's that?
You mean with girls that that you'd be dating? And
yeah, so like right. So like a time in June where I'm working a ton, I don't live with that person. And if a week goes by, yes, I'm upset. Like I'm not happy about that situation. And if like when she came by for the hour or 40 minutes and we took care of that, I was a happier guy. Like I was easier to talk to on the phone. I'm easier to be around because
endorphins are up. That's good.
Well, I don't know about even that. I know it's a situation where I feel more connected to my woman, my partner, because there's always that, like, for me, it sticks with me a little bit, right? So, like, if I am anticipating a sexual encounter on, the weekends, we both work or whatever, and then it happens, well, then I have, like, 3 days of anticipating that, which is fun. And then 3 days after that, I'm still, you know, like reeling from whatever we did. And then I start to anticipate the next one. But if there's a weekend that goes by where like she's got to go to Houston or something like that, and it doesn't happen, I get irritable. I mean, it sounds bad, and I don't want it to like sound like that, but
That doesn't sound bad. I think we're all like that.
okay, all right. So right. So like that's what's really weird about right now. Like, oh my God, here I am 3 months. I think I posted today. When am I considered a virgin again? Because, you know.
Yeah, I saw that.
Right. I mean, I post jokes. You know, like,
I think it's 6 months. I'm not sure.
then what? It just seals up, or what happens?
Wait, what? Did you say about 6 months?
I think it's 6 months if you haven't done the deed in 6 months.
Then what happened?
You're like a born again virgin.
Oh, really?
I don't know. But
Oh, that's what I heard. I don't know if that's true. We'll have to Google it.
That's quite the myth.
So I mean, there's people that I've met that like not, you know, in a relationship, but that sex isn't that important to them. And I'm not someone that could date somebody like that. Like I have friends that are like married, and I'm like, you know, something comes up about sex, and she's like, I'd rather fill out my bus schedule than.
I know. I don't understand that. Why, especially married people, why is that? That should be a priority in marriage.
I think it's very, so we're 3 single people. I think it is, I'm like impressed with people that post like they've been married for 35 years. That is a fucking hard thing to do.
Like I have friends that are married a long. They're truly, you can tell that they're truly in love, and I don't think that happens. I shouldn't say too often, but I have a handful of friends that you can tell like these people like truly love each other, and they have not only just work, they were meant to be together. You know, I mean, I don't think that you should have to work at a relationship that hard to make it work all of the time. Whether you're married, like a boyfriend. Like I don't want a boyfriend they have to work at. It should just, you know, I can see like, you know, getting through some things, but it shouldn't have to be work.
Right, but I mean, like a lot of, I know a couple people are like, I've been married, I haven't had sex. We only have sex, you know, this day or that day, you know, birthday, holiday. I don't understand how you could deal with that.
But that could be married too, because we were all married. I mean, were you married, Maribeth? I mean, was that
I was married twice.
Oh, yeah. So you should be talking, girl. I mean, the whole time. Yeah, I mean,
that's the one. Young the first time. I was only married 4 years. My daughter wasn't even 2, and I got divorced. And then the second one, I was married 14 years. And that he just wasn't. He didn't want a wife. He said he wanted kids. He did not want a wife.
Wow.
I'm sorry. That's terrible.
That was a hard pill to swallow when he said that during counseling.
Yes.
It was really hard. It hit me, you know, self-esteem, the whole.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
But I think, you know, he put the kids in front of me. He put the job in front of me. He put the house in front of me, the retirement fund, everything. I was last. And I think that is not that, I mean, I had my faults too, but that really killed me to know that I didn't matter. You know, that kind of thing. And that's what I never want again. I do want to be a priority. Whether I don't have to be the first one or the second, but at least make me the third.
No, I don't. Right, I don't think you should settle for that.
You know, like kids are always first when you date somebody and they have kids. I get it. My kids are first too. You know, but a prior. You need. I don't understand these married people don't put like intimacy or dating back on the. You know, you should always continue to date while you're married. Yeah. And for me, the people I know who are so happy, and like my parents are married 50 years and they were happy, but my aunt and uncle have been married, well, there's 50 something years, but they dated. And my mom used to say they didn't care. Friday nights, they got a sitter, boom, they went out, they dated. And I think that's what makes a good marriage is you keep that spark going.
Yeah. Well, like Carrie's saying, I don't think it needs to be work all the time, but I definitely think that there's work that you both have to do. I mean, I see so many people that they gave up on it. And some of it is like the guy, like I said, the guy will show up to look at some concrete work or some drywall work, and he is unkept. And I'm like, how does your wife put up with that? Like, that you should still, like, I don't care how long you're in a relationship, you should still want to look decent for that person. So, like, you can't, and I'm not talking about like get dressed up and put on all the makeup. Like, oh no, that's not important. But like, don't become a 300-pound behemoth, and don't, like, like I said, the guy was just shit growing out of his ears, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like,
Did you see his wife? What'd she look like?
no, I've never seen his wife, but I don't think that matters that much either. I think that you could be with somebody. I mean, obviously, we're all attracted to attractive people, but I don't think you need to be. I don't think that's the most paramount thing in the world, to be honest with you. I find more attraction to a woman, and I think me and Carrie talked about, it's like by mannerisms and stuff like that. Like, for me, it's a thing that is special about a person. Like, if I like the way that she moves, if I like the way that she walks, if I like the way that she is, if I like the way she holds a wine glass, that's something that's more than, she's got the really nice hair, or she's got the, like that's something you can almost buy. So, but the essence of somebody is what I think I want to have, where I like that, right? Where I want that person over, like, I mean, there's all kinds of attractive people. Most of them, not so much. I mean, like, if you go out in public, there's some ugly motherfuckers.
There's something that just makes us tick. And so those things that you were just mentioning, that's something like that you see, because it's always just, we're observing people. Like in normal society, except for like right now we're online. If you're sitting somewhere, you're going to observe them for a while. And there's, you can see like 20 different women, but there might be somebody who's doing those certain cute little things that you really like.
Yep.
With that's adorable, that fits into your parameters. You said you like brunettes or whatever, So like that's what we're gonna judge that book by the cover first, and it's the mannerisms. And then if they fall into the fact that you can keep up with the wit, and you're exciting, and you're adorable, and you're flirt, then it just starts going.
Right.
I think it all has to do with those few things in the beginning, for sure. It's how you present yourself before you even know you're presenting yourself.
Yes. And I mean, I think that, so there's drawbacks to being, our age and dating, but there's also upsides. I think you're better at knowing what you want. I would argue that most women that are you guys' age are better at sex than women that are in their 30s. Just because practice, you've done it. Like, I mean, I remember dating girls when I was in my early 20s, and part of the interview process was, like, does she know how to operate her own equipment? Because if she doesn't, then how the fuck does she expect me to know how to operate her equipment? Like, so, and by the time you're in your 50s or, late 40s, for God's sakes, I hope you've operated your own equipment by then. So, like, like for a guy, they're all jerking off all the time. That's not even a question. Like, if a guy tells you he has never masturbated, he's lying to you. Like, Jason Zednick used to say he didn't do it. And I'm like, you're a liar. You're a liar. He's like,
never done.
Yep, he used to say, and I think it was just an embarrassment thing, but he was like, never. I've never. And we were like 20 years old, and I'm like, dude, you're missing.
It's more embarrassing to admit that you never have. It's like something's wrong with you.
Right.
Right, exactly.
And women, like for me, I've got friends who don't buy, vibrators.
Right.
And they think it's wrong. And I'm like, but if it's, I mean, like a couple of my girlfriends are like, we sat around one day and we were talking about vibrators, and they're like, oh no, well, that's a normal thing for women to have a vibrator, I think. I don't know, maybe not. But I mean, I think that it's just steps in how you get yourself through things.
Yeah, I mean, like, okay, so I want someone that has no hangups when it comes to that stuff. Like, they do whatever makes them feel good. But I also don't want, like, real weird shit. Like, I mean,
No. Like,
I went out on a date with a woman the one time, and the very first date, we went out to dinner, had a great time, had a great talk. We got back to her place, and she had a whole mess of weird ideas as to what she thought we were doing.
What? What did you do?
tell us.
Do you really want to know? Because it was
51%.
it was weird. So, like, okay, so we go on the date, and nice dinner, nice conversation. We go back. She had an apartment. She was gorgeous. We started messing around. We're on the couch, and I said to her, I go, we doing this? And she said, well, yeah, but I want to go in the bedroom because I got a bunch of stuff. And I'm like 22.
You're like, yay, what?
What do you mean?
At first I was excited. Then I thought to her, I go, you have a bunch of stuff. And I go, I got everything we need right here. We're all good. And she's like, no. I have like nylon rope and what the fuck she said, blindfold and a pop bottle. And I'm like, all right.
A pop bottle?
First date?
So I go first dates. And I had met her, like we had talked a bunch, but never really went out. And I go, all right, I got the rope. You think you're going to tie me up. I got the blindfold. I don't know who's wearing it, but I got that. What are we going to do with the pop bottle? And she goes, well, I'm going to stick it up your ass. And then when you're about to, I'm going to yank it out, and it's going to be the best thing ever.
At 22?
Yeah. She might have been like 25. But, I was just a young, right. And I'm like, all right, listen, we can't do this on a first date because I'm going to go into
do that on any date with a pop bottle.
No, I mean, right.
Was it
I wasn't going there. But you can't tie me up on a first date because, like, two dudes are going to jump out of the closet and beat the shit out of me.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, that's not going to happen. So I was like, I felt so bad, but I had to leave. Like, I'm like, I got to go. Like, this is like.
You were almost on an episode of Snapped.
What is that?
It's like, you never seen Snapped? It's women who kill men.
Snapped? Oh.
No, I never saw that before.
That was what Maribeth watches.
Too.
So there's just people out there that have weird ideas as to what you're supposed to do. And
first date, that's a lot. I mean, even if you did like it, like, where do you go from there? The bar is like set so high. How do you do a second date?
What's next? The coffee can?
I don't know.
No, wait, what'd you do? What'd you do?
What?
What did you do? What'd you tell her?
I said, I got to go. I don't think that this is, this isn't my scene. I got to go. Because it was pretty much like, yes, like, this is what we're going to do. Where are we going to go from here? Like, and I don't, so there's all kinds of weird people out there. And I don't know if you guys have run into that, but like dudes that like feet and like, what's the furry thing where people like dress up in a damn furry outfit and have sex and everything else.
Oh, why? What do you mean? People dress up in furry outfits and do that?
You've never heard of a furry?
See, no, I try not to date people. That's why.
Who's an Easter bunny?
There is straight up Easter bunny porn where the dude is in an Easter bunny outfit. Yeah, I don't know either. None of them
working.
What's that?
I'm too busy working, I guess, to miss out on.
Bill, did you Google that?
What?
How do you know?
No, I've turned on Pornhub on Easter.
Ugh.
I'm kidding with you, but no. What I'm saying, like, so my messenger on Facebook is a terrible, terrible place. My guy friends send me the most disgusting shit that you could ever imagine in the world.
Yeah, guys.
Well, I mean, I don't need to tell you what Maribeth's email address is. I was a little freaked out about that this afternoon. Maribeth's email is Hollywood69.
It's my nickname from my dad when I was younger, and the year I'm born.
All right, that's even more disgusting. That's even more disturbing.
Why?
Huh?
Because it's
69?
huh?
No, that's the year she was born,
thank you.
69.
I was born in the year of giving and receiving.
Yeah.
Are you so? No,
She said she
69.
was born.
I was born
She
in
was
69.
born in the year of giving and receiving.
Oh, I thought you meant I thought you said conceived.
No,
Wow.
giving and receiving. No, I was
That's
conceived.
in my
I was conceived in Iowa year.
Oh, yeah, right. But no, so I mean, like, as far as that goes, I think there should be a lot of sex in a relationship, but I don't understand why people get weird with it. Like, I don't understand that. We had a neighbor that both of the people were really terrific people, and the guy left. Like, they were both attractive. The guy left for a woman who was so ugly, it was amazing. And he left because she would tie him up and stuff. And I'm like, really? Like, that's so, like, I don't know. The world is a wacky, wacky place. And I don't envy women that are out there trying to date. You never know what you're going to get. Like, there is some weird, like, I got a weird broad the one time. Like,
I think I do a good job of trying to weed out that right away. And I think you get into a good point too, but there's lots, like as soon as you get out into the dating scene and you're maybe first divorced, I have no idea, that you're going to fall into some of those traps. But like some guys, like now in these dating apps, you can tell like that's what they want, or you scroll through and they're looking to be submissive, boy or man or woman, it doesn't matter. And like I'll screenshot them and I'll show my friends. I'm like, oh my gosh, like this is what's out there. Like these crazy people, or
Right.
this guy, serial killer. Yes, or like this guy I saw 4 years ago. We still got the same pictures. It's all kinds of stuff.
Now, Mary Beth, you've been on dating sites, right? You've done the
I have.
thing.
Mhm.
And how was your experience with that? Did you come up with anything that worked out, or like not? I shouldn't say worked out because obviously no. But
No. I didn't have much luck on it. I mean, I had a couple that were pretty good, but then ended up not being. But for the most part, like Carrie was saying, it's the same people. Like if you go on, let's say you go on Match and then you go on like Zooks or you go on Plenty of Fish, it's the same people on these sites. So you might as well just stick with one and see.
Yeah, so like, I mean, I've never done any of that. Like, I've never even thought about it because it seems so fake that I just couldn't. Right, and then I don't know. I've always been okay with like just meeting people.
But see, you always like for me, I thought in the beginning when I first went on them, I thought everybody had like similar intentions, like that they would, but they lie and they cheat. They're not who they say they are.
Well, the sites advertise as like that they have the most amount of marriages or something like that. Like, because I think that the idea is that it sounds like a really good idea, right? Because how else are you supposed to meet a wide variety of people? Like, has anyone ever done speed dating or any of that kind of stuff?
A friend of mine did do, he started his own speed dating. So I was like we were in the guinea pig section and it was fun, but there were more women there than men. Men are intimidated by that because they have like 3 minutes to answer millions of questions and they don't, you gotta be quick.
Gotta be quick.
My daughter's actually doing a virtual
We could be like this.
Yeah. My daughter's doing a virtual speed dating next week.
Oh God.
I think that's interesting. I would love to see. I've told her, I'm like, can I come watch? Because I just want to see but she's 26, and she said she hangs out at the same bars. She doesn't venture downtown because she said she lives in Lockport. She goes, I meet a guy downtown and they say, where do you live? And she's like, Lockport. And they're where, So
guys in the city, it's almost like you live in Manhattan and there's like a big, river around it or lake around or ocean.
There's a moat. There's a moat. They don't
like they don't leave. yeah, where you got to venture into the city. It's like different out in the suburbs. And I think like it's different even like dating someone or talking to someone if you're on the south side versus the north side. Because I think north side women are completely different and the north side guys are used to a certain type of women where I think south side, even though I'm not south side of New Orleans, you know, it's still like we're, you know, categorized into like a little bit of a tougher group of women rather than the north siders.
Well, when I tell people I live in New Lenox, they're like, where?
Yeah.
No,
We're in the middle of nowhere. I
Totally,
know.
you know. So
I'm not dating. So Bill, it's nice that you've never done that. I mean, I don't feel like the only reason I do it sometimes is because, you know, like with my job, you know, I'm more in the construction industry. I do work with 90% men.
yeah.
You know, I mean, I'm out there all the time. It's just, you know, you've got that, you've got the gym. Even then when I go out with my girlfriends and stuff, I just feel like at least recently, you know, like masculinity has been like taken away from some of these guys. Like they don't approach like back in high school.
Right.
Like you know, I think it's a small pool of men that will now come into a group of women because now you've got to like play the whole group and you don't know who's single, you don't know who's dating. It's like more work and they don't want to do it.
I actually talked to more men when I was married. More men approached me and my girlfriends when we were married than when I'm divorced.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, I think I like to be the approacher rather than like I had friends that would never approach a woman, but they they would only date women that either approached them or they knew someone that knew somebody so they could get in with them. I like to look for something that I like and then go after that. Like, and I'll make it perfectly obvious. I figure I don't know. I think about things too much. So like I think if I make it obvious that I'm not I've never been cast into the friend zone or anything like that because I make it obvious. I tell the woman that she's gorgeous. I tell her that, you know, she's the type of person that I would date, stuff like that. And then, or the opposite. If I say something like, hey, you know, you're attractive, but I'm not like hitting on them, then they know that too. Like I try and make everyone know where they stand with me. So like, you know, we're on that footing. And if I get rejected, I've never been like bitch or nothing like that. Like it's just like, all right, fine, you know, you weren't receptive to that, so whatever. You know, we could still get along. But like I was telling Carrie today, my MO when I was younger was I hit on everybody. I just hit on them all and then see what happens. Like, and I'm not saying that like I spread myself around, but if I'm going to go out to the bar and look to meet people, I've only got a couple hours. I'm going to meet people. Like, what do I do? Just like stand here with a pool cue trying to look good? Like, no, I got to go talk to them. And I always felt like a good rap or a talk went further than looking good. Like that's, you know.
Oh, 100%. If somebody were to come up to me and talk to me and, you know, get out of their comfort zone, that goes really far.
Right. Well, now, my
Not
whole
even
world,
I feel like a lot of guys just won't do that.
right. My whole world's a different world now. I'm busting around a wheelchair. I'm 4'6". My problem is like,
That's the whole point. Well, you're out there doing it. You don't give a fuck. You're like, yeah.
Right.
but
It's the confidence. You know, you show confidence, and men who show confidence get a lot farther than people who don't.
right,
You know,
right.
Yeah.
men a lot too. You know what I mean?
With the bar is like I went out with Thompson on the last like pub crawl thing that they did, and if I can't stay at a bar till late because when women get drunk, they think that I am lonely or I'm a chair, and I've had in a night like 5 different women sit on my lap, and I'm like, I still got personal space, so if you would not do this, that would be good. Right. But they had a little too much to drink, and you know that's how they roll. I don't want to meet anybody in a bar. Like
No,
that.
I don't either. No.
I mean,
I've never.
know.
Yeah. But then where do you meet them? You know what I mean?
So like, okay, so what?
Where's the gym
Yeah.
set up? I mean, yeah. And like, I don't like to meet anyone at the gym because that's where I work out.
I've set up so many people. A lot of them are married now.
Oh,
But I've set up a lot of people.
Right.
but
Right.
it never got set up.
Really?
Yeah.
I've been set up on some doozies. Oh, I've been set up on some terrible dates, like just terrible. Oh, I was set up on a couple of good ones though too. Like one that I dated the girl for a few months, and it was a setup that I didn't even know. I thought I was going out to dinner with a married couple that were friends with me, and when we were headed to dinner, like, oh, we got to stop off at my mom's to get this, and then this other woman comes out, and I'm like, what the hell's going on here? And I was just injured. She got in the car. We had a great time, and then we just talked like after that and hung out for 3 or 4 months. It was fine. But I didn't even know I was on a setup. Like I was just going out to dinner with some friends.
Yeah, it's the easiest. Those are the nicest ones. I've gone out on a few like dates with guys, but they weren't really dates. They were more like just no pressure, and just hanging out. And that's the best time because you can
Well,
be.
the people I've set up with, and I even set up an old, I shouldn't say elderly, older couple in their 60s. And what I'll do is I'll take his number and I'll get her number, and I ask, may I switch it? And then they switch it, and I say go, and it's worked.
That's good. Now, do you guys? So, okay, being close to the age that we're at, do you feel any time pressure?
No.
No,
I don't, not at this point, no.
No, because I know people that are like I knew this old guy. He was like, I don't know, a friend of the family, considered like an uncle sort of thing. He was in his 80s and he was still like chasing women around the fucking the retirement home. And the one lady was like in her 70s and she's like, I don't know, you're really older than me. And he's like, he goes, were you married? And she goes, yes. He goes, what happened to your husband? He died. He goes, well, I'm younger than him.
Well, my parents were married 50 years, and my mom was 69 and my dad was 70, and she passed. And it took 3 years, and he got remarried.
No, that's nice. Yeah.
And they've been together, like they knew each other when they were growing up. So he sent her a Christmas card, and then he called her, and they went out on a date. 6 weeks later, they were engaged, and 6 months later, they were married.
That's nice. They found like a companion with each other
Right.
too. At the
And
age.
you know what I mean? It's a different love. It won't ever be the same love but it should be. Nothing's the same with that. But they've been together. They've been married 7 years now, and he's 80, gonna be 81, and she's 81. So I guess she was divorced for 35 years. And then
my grandmother is 92 right now. She doesn't have anybody in her life like that now, but she was a wild one. She was a firecracker when she was younger. She thinks she was married 4 or 5 times, and like at one point, the traveling salesman selling vacuums, he was an older guy. She married him. Like came to the door and she married him. So like, and then she had boyfriends and stuff like that. Like she was married to like one of my grandfathers, and she had a boyfriend too.
One of the many.
Yeah, and she had like a nickname for him because she didn't want to say his real name because then the guy that was my grandfather would find out. So she was
well, guys, I got to boogie out.
I had fun, ladies. I really did. So
nice to meet you, Carrie. Good luck.
Bye, Beth.
Right.
Nice.
Well, here,
Good luck to you all.
let me stop the recording here.